Hello everybody, 2023 continues. The unrelenting 2023 continues with our next big franchise return, which is the return of Channing Tatum's own Steven Soderbergh production, Magic Mike, Mike's Last Dance, the third movie in the Magic Mike franchise. So Aiden, what is the plot of Magic Mike 3, Mike's Last Dance, the third film in the franchise of a Steven Soderbergh production?
Magic Mike's Last Dance follows up the previous two movies with Magic Mike is retired from being a stripper, or mostly retired, and he's working as a bartender at a rich lady's party, and she recognizes him and says, "I want one of your famous dances." And he does it, and she gets so horny that she is like, "Okay, well, you're my boy toy now, and we're gonna fly to Paris, and we're gonna put on a play but it's not a play because my ex-husband owns a playhouse and he has a pretentious play that I don't like, and we're gonna turn that pretentious play into a strip show." And they do. Yeah. Connor, what'd you think of Magic Mike's Last Dance?
Magic Mike's Last Dance is a big mixed bag. The story itself was pretty basic. Channing Tatum wants to get, he falls in love, and after having sex with a rich old lady, and then he says, "I really love this rich old lady, so I guess I'll put on the play." And then the rich old lady has a daughter who doesn't really like him, but comes around to him as an artistic genius for being a stripper, because the magic of dance can bring the human race together.
Yep.
That's one pillar. And then Magic Mike wants to put on the ultimate cabaret show, which is him and his strippers he recruited want to give women
There's a whole
the
new
ultimate
cast.
dance.
The cast from the first and second movie are all gone, except they appear in a Zoom call.
He wants to give them the ultimate dance that is similar to the dance that he gave the elderly woman at the start of this movie. The elderly woman he falls in love with. And he says, "I'm really in love with this elderly woman, and what if I did one last strip show?" And then everything starts to fall apart, but Mike has an ace in the hole, which is that he is Magic Mike and he's the ultimate stripper. So what if he did a dance that he choreographs in 45 minutes and is completely ready to be completely stage ready, and somehow this ancient theater has like the most impressive aquatic cinematics,
like rain machines.
He got drains installed. It was very impressive. Magic Mike did, and he creates the best strip show of all time that is so impressive that it melds the worlds of the modern male burlesque show with the ancient art of theater, which has been around since the times. It's Shakespeare meets Johnny Sins, really. That's what Magic Mike did. It's Shakespeare meets Johnny Sins, and it's beautiful. So Aiden, what did you think of Johnny Sins, hunky pizza delivery man with extra large cock? I mean Magic Mike XL. Magic Mike's Last Dance.
Last Dance is okay. Believe it or not, I've seen all three Magic Mike movies. I don't remember under what context I saw the first, and I don't really remember it. But one of our oldest...
Are you sure we made a video on it?
We did. I remember making a thumbnail.
Okay.
It was, we saw Magic Mike XXL, and it was one of our first videos on this channel.
Right.
Before Drunkview. It was the new movie chat. And that movie is very silly, and it's about them like stripping to save the rec center and having like goofy adventures.
It's like the Sandlot meets male strippers type of thing.
Yeah, basically. Or like, what's that one movie? Fucking...
Blues Brothers for male strippers.
Kind of. I was thinking Electric Boogaloo. It's the same concept. As
Yeah, it's pretty similar. More explicit, perhaps.
This one, I think this one kind of gets bogged down in the drama of everything and forgets to be funny until the last act. Because the first two acts are not very funny. It's Mike and the woman yelling at each other. And then all of a sudden, once the strip show starts, the movie remembers that it's like a comedy about male strippers, or like at least kind of a comedy. And it kind of becomes funny in the last act, which salvages the movie a lot for me, because I think the first like 2/3 are kind of get a little dry. The dancing is really well choreographed.
Right.
It's directed by Steven Soderbergh, who is a very good director. This movie is...
Except for when he directed The Limey, which I watched on an airplane. It
We
was a disaster.
We all make mistakes, but
Right.
the movie's really, really well shot and lit, and it's a very, very nice production, especially when it comes to the whole dance numbers at the end. It's a very nice looking movie. And in the last third, it kind of remembers to be funny, and it's a little bit wacky and weird and goofy. And it becomes fun for a while. The first 2/3 are pretty dry, and probably could have used just being a little wackier like the second movie was, but...
The dramatic arc is also kind of weak.
Yeah, I mean, you never really get the feeling... The conclusion of the movie is that he's like, I love you, that's why I stripped again. So that I could show you I loved you. But like, you never really get the idea that they're in love before that. They like hug a few times, and they like...
Well, they have the
do
passionate
sexy strips with each other.
They have the passionate night of lovemaking, but after that, it's kind of implied that that was a one-time only. There is the one scene of sexual tension in the back of the limo towards the end of the second act, but then it's kind of implied it turns into a friendship.
They have like a weird professional relationship, friendship.
A weird professional friendship relationship. There isn't a ton of chemistry. And Mike also doesn't really build a relationship with the daughter, which also might have made the third act reveal that they're in love a little bit of a deeper, dramatic sting to it.
Yeah.
It's missing a lot of the core storytelling elements.
Mike bonds with the
third
butler
of this
more
movie has to be sexy stripteases.
Mike bonds with the butler more than he does with
Right, at the end I thought Mike was going to fuck the butler. Really? I mean, honestly, if anybody in this movie should have got fucked by Mike, it should have been the butler.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just throwing that out there.
It's like,
I think this movie's homophobic for Mike not fucking the old butler.
True. It's well made, it's well shot, the dancing is cool. I don't know a lot about dance or male stripping,
Specifically burlesque.
Specifically male burlesque is not my forte, but it's well made. I think if the first two acts were less dry, I'd be more positive on it, because it starts to get wacky and fun at the end, and then it's like wacky and fun. And the second movie I haven't seen since like 2014, but I remember being wacky and fun.
I just remember him getting in a fight on the escalator.
But, regardless, I mean, I'm mixed. I'm mixed on Last Dance. A strong third act and some weak opening acts. It leaves a better final impression than it does an opening one, I guess. Connor, what'd you think of Magic Mike's Last Dance?
I kind of agree with your analysis, except I would disagree that the third act is that great. Because here's the thing. The third act... Okay, so you got, in movies, you got something called the climax, which is where all the good shit happens. The Avengers fight Thanos. Adam Sandler makes the funniest jokes. The third act is 99% Channing Tatum and the boys stripping.
Yeah.
And there isn't much
What else would the climax be?
Of course, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's something wrong with that because that's what the people who watch Magic Mike are expecting. Because it's kind of like 50 Shades of Grey, where it's porn or softcore porn. It's really a Japanese pink film made for American women. It's kind of like a Japanese pink film. It's not pornographic, so you could put it in a big wide release theater. But it's made to make the intended audience very horny. Which perhaps it does. But here's the thing. As someone who doesn't particularly give a shit about the dancing arts or male burlesque, and as a straight male, while the dancing was occasionally impressive, I thought the third act was very drawn out. I finally know what it feels like to be a girlfriend getting dragged to an Avengers movie. You know? I understand why in the past, when I've offered to take girls to like a superhero movie or a Mission Impossible movie, they've politely declined.
Because Channing Tatum doesn't take his shirt off?
No, not because Channing Tatum doesn't take his shirt off, but because seeing the good stuff, to some people, it ain't that good. I don't care to see all these men jumping around naked. And I'm secure enough as a man that I wasn't, like, offended by it. But when the intention is to make the audience horny, and as a straight man, I wasn't particularly horny by the thing, what's the point of the third act? So I'm thinking,
I was trying to
why not use the 40-minute strip show, cut the strip show down to 20 minutes, and add a little more of the dramatic meat? Because what I'm here for is the love between Max and Mike. That's what I was there for. Or that's the only thing that I could grab onto as a straight male. Yeah. I'm sorry. Or I mean, even maybe gay males are against it. I'm very open-minded. But the point
there was a brief moment where I was trying to figure out something in my brain, like
it's like when I watch music.
During the first and second act, when I was getting kind of bored, I was trying to figure out if this movie was a male power fantasy or a female power fantasy. And I'm pretty sure it's female.
Definitely female, because the lady who plays Max is like 15 years older than Channing Tatum.
Well, yeah, and she's like a horrible bitch most of the movie. And then,
like, but that's like a women. She's like a women empowering bitch.
Yeah, she's like an empowered women.
She's
bitch.
like a bad bitch.
The thing that tipped me off.
I mean, she's a bitch, but she's a bad bitch.
The thing that tipped me off is in the middle when Channing Tatum starts spouting like male feminist shit, and I was like, okay, this is for women. But there was like a brief moment at some point, like the first act, where I was like, is the power fantasy here that you're a hunky male who gets swept off by a hot older lady to be her rich stripper boy toy? I don't think that's the case.
I think if Steven Soderbergh if Steven Soderbergh was doing his job right, both would be factually correct. If this was a genuinely well done movie, both. I should have been like, damn, I want a 65-year-old woman to fly me on her private jet to do a strip show in London. And as a woman, if I was a woman, I'm supposed to be like, I wish I was rich and a bad sassy bitch so I could get a cool, hunky man like Channing Tatum. And then they're supposed to be brought together through the magic of loving dance and sexual empowerment. That's my theory. But anyways, what is Magic Mike? That's what I'm going to break down for you now. Magic Mike, the idea of Magic Mike is that he is a guy.
What just happened?
We ran out of battery to record. But we're still recording?
It's still going. Okay, let's wrap this up.
Okay, yeah. Anyways, Magic Mike, he's really horny and good, but he's a good guy. And Max learns that Magic Mike might be more than just a dumb mimbo or whatever you call him, man, bimbo. Anyways, Aiden, do you recommend Magic Mike A Last Dance?
Not particularly. Connor, do you recommend Magic Mike The Last Dance?
I would recommend the Magic Mike because I thought it was really good and awesome and fun and cool and I was horny for it. Just kidding. It was okay. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's like 80 for Brady. It's like if you're
probably
like the audience. Yeah, if you're into Magic Mike, it was like well done enough, but not really like something that I'm into.